Today, I am so excited to present my dear friend and mentor, Waldo Alvarado. Waldo immigrated to the United States from El Salvador in 1989 as a Fulbright scholar. After that, he served many years as a public educator, and today he is the director of equity and diversity at the Reading School District. Waldo has received many accolades for his job, many accomplishments under his belt. But most importantly, Waldo is the most down to earth, genuine person you will ever meet. His stories, his immigrant stories, and his insights on immigrant issues are truly inspiring. So come on, let's listen to one of those many stories he will share with us. I know you will love listening to him. Thank you. Let's go.
The question is, where are you from and how did you arrive to the United States? How long have you lived in here? I am from El Salvador in Central America. How did I come to the US? I came as an international exchange student in the Fulbright program. I'm very thankful because it is a very unusual way for an immigrant to come to the United States or to move. I just want to share with you the context of my departure from El Salvador. My country was going through very difficult times. Basically, we were engaged in a civil war, and there were, the government and the leftist guerrillas, and then everybody else in between, just passively watching the destruction, the violence, and the bloodshed going on in our country. A lot of people were fleeing the country for safety reasons, and a lot of compatriots, they went to different countries around the world. So we were in the middle of this civil conflict, and I was processing all these scholarship application. So when I got the good news that I won the scholarship, that was a blessing, and a big sense of relief came to us. But one of the drawbacks of this opportunity was that the scholarship only covered me, and my family, they had to stay back. And I was married, and we have two sons at that point, and that was a very tough decision. Leave the country in the midst of a civil war and leave my wife and my two very young kids behind. So I remember that was in the summer, around July, that I traveled to the US. And by October and November, things got really bad and very dangerous. And in December, with the help of God, we were able to have my family and my two kids join me in the United States after 6 months. And yes, those were very difficult times. So when my wife came over and my two kids, now the question was how to support them financially, and basic stuff, how to bring food to the table and pay, all the expenses and so forth. And at that point, no other choice but to start working part-time jobs here and there. My wife was willing to also get employment, and that was how we survived while I was a full-time graduate student. We managed, to thrive, to survive. I managed to complete my studies. So it was a roller coaster. It was quite a ride. We went through the normal experiences that people go through, the cultural shock and the different stages. And again, this emotional roller coaster ride. But we were able to accomplish the main objective, which was, my graduate degree, and also the fact that we needed a place to stay because of the Civil War and so forth. I have to say that number one, the fact that we have been able to stay together as a family is a big accomplishment. It's hasn't been easy, but with my wife this year, we're going to be celebrating 37 years of marriage. And we have three wonderful sons. We have a granddaughter as well. And throughout the stress, the tribulations, the joys, and the triumph, we have been able to stick together as a family, and that is a big accomplishment. The second most rewarding element, the fact that we have been able to pursue our dreams of top quality education. And I can speak about my kids. They've been able to complete a college education, and that has been very rewarding. And also at a personal level, that was the main purpose for my travel to the US. So I was able to finish my graduate degree, and also I was able to do some certification programs as a secondary school counselor, as a K-12 school principal. And believe it or not, this year I went back to school and I registered for this strategic leadership in education at the University of Pennsylvania. So it is interesting that I went back to UPenn after 30 years. So education has been a driving force throughout my life and my entire career. And the number three most rewarding experience is that I've been able to work, within the field of my passion, which is being a change agent for equity and social justice. So I've been in education as a school counselor, as an assistant principal, and now as the equity director. 6 years, and I'm enjoying every moment of this. There are some struggles, but that's part of the work. That's part of the job. I think one of the most challenging situation has been the fact that once you cross the border and you step into US, you are labeled like instantly, and people are trying to figure out who you are. In my home country, the only label that we use is, our national label. I'm from El Salvador, so we are Salvadorians. So when you come to the US, people start calling you Hispanics, Latinos, Latinx. And it's funny that we don't call ourselves with those labels, but that's the way, that you are called here. And especially with the Latinx, the Pew Research Center, they have done some surveys, and Latinos don't call themselves Latinx. It's only like a very small percentage of people that actually use that label. But that has been one of the struggles because they try to put you in these categories, in these groups, and there's a lot of stereotypes and bias associated with those labels. Another struggle has been being classified as a member of a minority group in the US. So the moment you enter this country, you are minoritized. And, uh, and actually, this is a struggle because then people, have these stereotypes about who you are as a person, and the way they look at you, the way they talk to you, and the way they treat you makes you feel like a second class citizen. You see, in my country, being part of the minority is a different, concept, because the minorities are the well-to-do, the privileged class. So being called a minority in South Central America is a different thing. And here, minority is always associated with a less than second class citizen and so forth. The other struggle is just the the cultural worldview that I came from, and what I found in the United States. As you know, the US is a highly individualistic and highly competitive society. And I come from a different worldview. Like in the US, the emphasis is on the I, me, myself. And I'm coming from a place where we kind of refuse to use the I and we prefer the we. Just like that African proverb goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, then let's go together.